Force yourself to be active every day. This is not just a suggestion, my friends. This is a command, a rallying cry for your very existence. Every single day you have a choice. You can choose to be passive, to let life happen to you, or you can choose to be active to make life happen for you. Which will it be? I'm here to tell you that the power of daily activity is not just a nice idea. It's the very essence of living a purposeful life. When you force yourself to be active every day, you're not just moving your body, you're moving your destiny. Think on it. What happens when water stands still? It becomes stagnant. It breeds mosquitoes. It starts to smell. But what happens when water flows? It stays fresh. It nourishes everything it touches. It carves out new paths through solid rock. You, my friend, are meant to be like that flowing water. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but I'm tired, but I'm busy, but I don't feel like it. Let me tell you something. Feelings are fickle. They come and go like the wind, but purpose is constant. Purpose is the North Star that guides you when your feelings want to lead you astray. Your purpose is not to feel good all the time. Your purpose is to become all that you were created to be. And that, my friends, requires action. Daily, consistent, purposeful action. Let's break this down. Why is daily activity so crucial? First, it builds momentum. Have you ever tried to push a car that's been sitting still? It's hard, isn't it? But once you get it moving, it becomes easier. Life is the same way. The hardest part is starting. But once you build that momentum, you become unstoppable. Second, daily activity builds discipline. Discipline is not about punishing yourself. It's about training yourself. It's about becoming the master of your own mind and body. When you force yourself to be active every day, you're telling yourself, I'm in charge here. Not my feelings, not my circumstances, but me. Third, daily activity expands your capacity. Every time you push yourself to do something when you don't feel like it, you're expanding your comfort zone. You're proving to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought. And that, my friends, is how you grow. Now let me be clear. When I say be active, I'm not just talking about physical exercise, although that's certainly part of it. I'm talking about being active in every area of your life. Active in your relationships. Active in your learning. Active in your spiritual growth. Active in pursuing your dreams. Let's talk about relationships for a moment. Relationships don't maintain themselves. They require active investment. Every day, you have the opportunity to strengthen your relationships or let them wither. A phone call to a friend. A heartfelt conversation with your spouse. Quality time with your children. These are not passive activities. They require intention. They require effort. They require you to be active. What about learning? In today's world, information is exploding at an unprecedented rate. If you're not actively learning, you're actively falling behind. Read a book. Listen to a podcast. Take an online course. Engage in meaningful conversation. Your mind is like a muscle. If you don't use it, you lose it. And what about your dreams? Dreams don't come true by themselves. They require action. Consistent, persistent action. Every day, you should be doing something that moves you closer to your dreams. It doesn't have to be big. Small steps, taken consistently, can cover great distances. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but I don't have time for all this activity. Let me challenge that thought. You have exactly the same amount of time as everyone else on this planet. 24 hours in a day, 168 hours in a week. The question is not how much time you have, but how you're using the time you have. Time is like money. If you don't budget it, if you don't invest it wisely, it will slip through your fingers. And before you know it, you'll be wondering where it all went. That's why you need to force yourself to be active every day. Because when you're active, you're not just passing time, you're investing time. Let me give you a practical example. Let's say you have a dream of writing a book. Now, writing a book can seem like an overwhelming task. But what if you committed to writing just one page every day? One page. And that's not much, is it? But do you know what happens if you write one page every day for a year? You end up with a 365-page book. That's the power of daily activity. Or let's say you want to improve your health. You don't have to run a marathon tomorrow, but what if you committed to walking for just 15 minutes every day? That's 15 minutes out of 40 minutes in a day. Surely you can find 15 minutes, can't you? And do you know what happens when you walk for 15 minutes every day for a year? You walk for 91 hours. That's almost 4 full days of walking. Can you imagine the impact that would have on your health? This is the power of forcing yourself to be active every day. Small actions taken consistently lead to massive results. As then, you have to force yourself. Why? Because your feelings won't always align with your goals. There will be days when you don't feel like writing that page. There will be days when you don't feel like going for that walk. As when you have to remember, you are your decisions. Your feelings are like the weather. They change constantly. But your decisions are like the climate. They shape your life over the long term. So when your feelings say, I don't want to, your decision must say, I will anyway. Now, I'm not saying this is easy. If it were easy, everyone would be doing it. But here's the truth. The things that are easy to do are also easy not to do. And the things that are hard to do are often the very things that will change your life. So how do you force yourself to be active every day? Let me give you some practical strategies. First, start your day with a win. Do something active first thing in the morning. It could be exercise. It could be meditation. It could be reading. Whatever it is, start your day by being active. This sets the tone for the rest of your day. Second, schedule your activities. Don't leave it to chance. Don't leave it to when you feel like it. Put it in your calendar. Treat it like an important appointment, because it is an important appointment. It's an appointment with your better self. Third, create accountability. Tell someone about your commitment to daily activity. Better yet, find an accountability partner. Someone who will check in on you, someone who would encourage you when you're struggling, someone who will celebrate with you when you succeed. Fourth, track your progress. Keep a journal. Use a habit tracker. Make your progress visible. There's something powerful about seeing your streak of daily activity grow longer and longer. It creates a momentum that propels you forward. Fifth, reward yourself. Celebrate your wins, no matter how small. Did you write that page today? Celebrate it. Did you go for that walk? Celebrate it. Positive reinforcement is a powerful motivator. Sixth, prepare for obstacles. Life will throw curveballs at you. There will be days when your routine gets disrupted. Plan for these in advance. If you can't do your usual activity, what's your backup plan? And remember, something is always better than nothing. Seventh, connect your daily activity to your bigger purpose. Why are you doing this? What's the bigger picture? When you connect your daily actions to your life's purpose, you tap into a deeper source of motivation. Now, let me address a common objection I hear. Some people say, but isn't it stressful to force yourself to be active every day? Don't we need rest and relaxation too? Absolutely, rest and relaxation are crucial. But here's the thing, it comes from winning that you've earned it. It comes from the satisfaction of having done what you set out to do. Moreover, being active doesn't always mean being busy. Sometimes the most active thing you can do is to sit in quiet reflection. Sometimes the most active thing you can do is to have a deep conversation with a loved one. Activity is not about constant motion. It's about constant growth. Let me share with you a personal story. Back in my day, I remember a time when I was feeling overwhelmed with all the demands on my time. I had speaking engagements, books to write, a ministry to lead. I felt like I was always running from one thing to the next. And then one day, I realized something profound. The problem wasn't that I had too much to do. The problem was that I wasn't being intentional about how I was using my time. So I made a decision. I decided every day, no matter what, I would spend the first hour of my day in quiet reflection and prayer. Now, at first, this seemed counterintuitive. How could I afford to waste an hour when I had so much to do? But you know what I found? That hour of intentional activity, of spiritual and mental preparation, made the rest of my day infinitely more productive. You see, being active isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters most. It's about aligning your daily actions with your highest values and your deepest purpose. Now, let's talk about consistency. Consistency is the key to transformation. It's not what you do once in a while that shapes your life. It's what you do consistently. That's why it's so important to force yourself to be active every day. Think about it this way. If you were to improve just one every day, do you know how much you would improve in a year? You'd improve by 365. That's more than 3 times better than you are right now. But here's the flip side. If you were to decline by just one every day, where would you be in a year? You'd be down to about 3 of where you are now. That's the power of daily activity or daily inactivity. This is why you can't afford to take days off from your growth. Every day that you're not moving forward, you're sliding backward. There's no standing still in life. You're either growing or you're dying. Now, I'm not saying you need to make massive changes every day. In fact, trying to make massive changes all at once is often a recipe for failure. What I'm advocating for is small, consistent actions taken every single day. Think of it like compound interest. If you invest a small amount consistently over a long period of time, it grows into something substantial. Your daily activities are like investments in yourself. They may not seem like much in the moment, but over time, they compound into massive results. Let's talk about habits for a moment. Your life is essentially the sum of your habits. What you do repeatedly ultimately defines who you become. That's why it's so crucial to develop positive habits through daily activity. When you force yourself to be active every day, you're not just accomplishing tasks. You're reshaping your very identity. You're becoming the kind of person who takes action, who follows through, who makes things happen. And here's the beautiful thing about habits. Once they're established, they become automatic. What once required effort and willpower becomes second nature. That's when real transformation happens. Remember, habits work both ways. Just as positive habits can lift you up, negative habits can drag you down. That's why you need to be intentional about your daily activities. Every action you take is either reinforcing a positive habit or a negative one. Now let's address another common objection. Some people say, but what about spontaneity? What about going with the flow? My friends, spontaneity is wonderful. But true spontaneity comes from a place of strength, not weakness. It comes from knowing that you've taken care of your responsibilities, that you've invested in your growth, that you've honored your commitments to yourself. Thereof, of being active every day doesn't mean every minute of your day is scheduled. It means that you're intentional about including activities that matter in your day. Within that framework, there's plenty of room for spontaneity and flexibility. Let's talk about resilience. When you force yourself to be active every day, you're building resilience. You're developing the ability to push through discomfort, to overcome obstacles, to bounce back from setbacks. So resilience is not something you're born with. It's something you develop through consistent action. Every time you force yourself to be active when you don't feel like it, you're strengthening your resilience muscle. And in today's world, resilience is more important than ever. We're living in times of rapid change and uncertainty. The ability to adapt, to persevere, to keep moving forward regardless of circumstances. These are the qualities that will determine your success and fulfillment in life. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Fear is often what holds us back from being active. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. But here's the truth. The only way to overcome fear is through action. When you force yourself to be active every day, you're facing your fears head on. You're proving to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought. And with each small victory, your confidence grows. Your fear shrinks. And remember, courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is taking action in spite of fear. And that's exactly what you're doing when you force yourself to be active every day. Let's talk about energy for a moment. Some people think that being active every day will drain their energy. But the opposite is true. Activity creates energy. When you're active, you're increasing your capacity. You're expanding your energy reserves. Think about it like this. If you lie in bed all day, how do you feel? Sluggish, right? But if you get up and move, even when you're tired, you often find that you have more energy afterward. That's because energy begets energy. The same principle applies to mental and emotional energy. When you engage in activities that challenge you, that excite you, that align with your purpose, you're not depleting your energy. You're generating it. Now, let's talk about the role of rest in all this. Some people misunderstand what it means to be active every day. They think it means never resting. But that's not it at all. Rest is an essential part of being active. You see, true rest is not the absence of activity. True rest is the renewal of your mind, body, and spirit. And sometimes the most active thing you can do is to engage in intentional rest and renewal. The key is to make your rest active. Don't just flop on the couch and zone out. Engage in activities that truly rejuvenate you. Read a book that inspires you. Have a meaningful conversation. Meditate. Pray. These are all forms of active rest. Let's talk about focus. In today's world, there are countless distractions vying for our attention. When you force yourself to be active every day, you're developing your ability to focus. You're training your mind to concentrate on what's truly important. Focus is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And in a world of endless distractions, the ability to focus is a superpower. It's what allows you to make progress on your goals while others are getting sidetracked. Now let's address procrastination. Procrastination is the enemy of daily activity. It's what tells you, I'll do it tomorrow. But here's the truth. Tomorrow never comes. There's only today. When you force yourself to be active every day, you're overcoming procrastination. You're developing the habit of taking immediate action. And that, my friends, is a game changer. Let's talk about the compounding effect of daily activity. Every action you take, no matter how small, has an effect. And when you repeat those actions day after day, the effects compound. Think about it like this. If you read just 10 pages of a book every day, in a year you'll have read 3,650 pages. That's equivalent to about 18 average-sized books. How much your perspective would expand? Or think about relationships. If you made just one meaningful connection every day, a heartfelt conversation, a kind gesture, a word of encouragement, imagine how your relationships would transform over the course of a year. This is the power of compound growth. Small actions, repeated consistently, lead to massive results. Now, let's talk about the role of discomfort in all this. When you force yourself to be active every day, you're going to experience discomfort. There will be days when you don't feel like it, days when it seems too hard, days when you want to give up. But here's the comfort. Here's the price of growth. If you're not experiencing discomfort, you're not growing. Discomfort is a sign that you're pushing your boundaries, that you're expanding your comfort zone. Embrace the discomfort. Welcome it. It's a sign that you're on the right track. Remember, the pain of discipline is far less than the pain of regret. Let's talk about the power of momentum. When you force yourself to be active every day, you create momentum in your life. And momentum is a powerful force that can propel you towards your goals. Think of it like a boulder at the top of a hill. At first, it takes a lot of effort to get it moving. But once it starts rolling, it becomes almost unstoppable. This is exactly what happens when you commit to daily activity. The first few days might be tough. You might feel resistance. You might question whether it's worth the effort. But if you push through, something magical starts to happen. The actions that once felt difficult begin to feel easier. The habits that once required willpower start to become automatic. Momentum is not just about physical motion. It's about psychological and emotional motion too. When you're consistently active, you start to build confidence. You start to believe in yourself more. You start to see possibilities where before you saw only. And here's the beautiful thing about moments. It tends to spill over into other areas of your life. Maybe you start by committing to daily exercise, but as you build that habit, you find yourself eating healthier too. You find yourself more productive at work. You find yourself more patient with your family. This is the ripple effect of positive momentum. But remember, momentum works both ways. Just as positive actions can create positive momentum, inaction or negative actions can create negative momentum. That's why it's so crucial to force yourself to be active every day, even on the days when you don't feel like it. Because every day you're either building positive momentum or negative momentum. Now, let's talk about the concept of incremental improvement. When you force yourself to be active every day, you're not aiming for overnight transformation. You're aiming for consistent incremental improvement. And over time, those incremental improvements add up to massive changes. Think about it like compound interest. If you improve just one each day, after a year, you'll be 37 times better. That's the power of incremental improvement. It might not seem like much in the moment, but over time, it's transformative. This principle applies to every area of your life. Want to become a better communicator? Practice active listening for just 5 minutes a day. Want to improve your relationships? Make one thoughtful gesture each day. Make one to advance in your career. Learn one new skill or fact related to your field every day. These actions might seem small. They might even seem insignificant. But when you do them consistently, day after day, they compound. They accumulate. Now, let's address a common misconception. Some people think that being active every day means you have to be constantly busy, constantly doing something. But that's not it at all. Being active is not about busy. It's about intentionality. Sometimes the most active thing you can do is to sit in quiet reflection. Sometimes it's to have a deep conversation with a loved one. Sometimes it's to take a walk in nature and clear your mind. The key is that these activities are intentional. They're purposeful. They're aligned with your goals and values. In fact, one of the most powerful forms of daily activity is reflection. Taking time each day to think about your actions, your decisions, your progress towards your goals. This kind of mental activity is crucial for growth and self-improvement. Let's talk about the role of planning in daily activity. When you commit to being active every day, planning becomes essential. You need to know what you're going to do, when you're going to do it, and why you're doing it. This doesn't mean you need to plan every minute of your day, but it does mean having a clear idea of your priorities. What are the non-negotiable activities that you're committed to doing each day? How will you make time for them? Planning also helps you overcome one of the biggest obstacles to daily activity: decision fatigue. When you have a plan, you don't have to waste mental energy deciding what to do each day. You've already made that decision in advance. All you have to do is follow through. Now let's address another common objection. But what if I miss a day? This is where a lot of people get tripped up. They miss one day and they think they failed. They think it's all over. But that's not true at all. The goal is not perfection. The goal is consistency. If you miss a day, don't beat yourself up. Don't use it as an excuse to give up. Instead, focus on getting back on track as quickly as possible. Remember, it's not about never falling. It's about always getting back up. And in fact, how you handle setbacks is just as important as how you handle successes. When you force yourself to be active every day, you're developing resilience. You're learning to bounce back from setbacks. You're building them the mental toughness to keep going even when things get difficult. Let's talk about the importance of variety in your daily activities. While consistency is crucial, it's also important to have variety. Our minds and bodies thrive on novelty. When we do the same thing day in and day out, we risk falling into a rut. We risk losing our enthusiasm and motivation. That's why it's important to mix things up. If your daily activity is exercise, try different types of workouts. If it's learning, explore different subjects. If it's creativity, experiment with different media. This variety keeps things fresh and exciting. It challenges you in new ways. It helps you discover new passions and talents. Now let's address the role of rest and recovery in daily activity. Some people think that being active every day means never taking a break. But that's not true at all. Rest and recovery are essential components of any successful activity regimen. Think about it like this. When you exercise, you're not actually getting stronger during the workout. You're getting stronger during the recovery period, when your body repairs and rebuilds itself. The same principle applies to mental and emotional activity. You need time to process, to integrate, to recharge. That's why it's important to build rest and recovery into your daily routine. This might mean setting aside time for meditation or prayer. It might mean getting enough sleep each night. It might mean taking regular breaks throughout the day to relax and recharge. Remember, the goal of daily activity is not to run yourself into the ground. It's to build sustainable habits that enhance your life over the long term. And that requires a balance of activity and rest. Let's talk about the importance of tracking your progress. When you force yourself to be active every day, it's crucial to have some way of measuring your efforts and your results. This serves several purposes. First, it provides accountability. When you're tracking your activities, you're less likely to skip them. You're creating a record of your commitment to yourself. Second, it allows you to see your progress over time. Sometimes day-to-day changes can be hard to notice, but when you look back over weeks or months, you can see how far you've come. This can be incredibly motivating. Third, tracking allows you to identify patterns and trends. Maybe you notice that you're more likely to skip your activities on certain days of the week, or maybe you notice that certain activities have a bigger impact on your mood or energy levels. This information can help you optimize your routine. Now, let's address the role of community in daily activity. While being active is ultimately a personal commitment, having a supportive community can make a huge difference. This might be a workout buddy, a study group, or an online community of like-minded individuals. A community provides encouragement when you're struggling. It provides accountability when you're tempted to slack off. It provides inspiration when you see others making progress. And it provides a sense of connection and belonging, which is crucial for long-term motivation. Let's talk about the importance of aligning your daily activities with your long-term goals and values. It's not enough to just be active for the sake of being active. Your activity should be moving you towards something meaningful. Take some time to reflect on what really matters to you. What are your long-term goals? What kind of person do you want to become? Then, design your daily activities to support these aspirations. When your daily actions are aligned with your deeper values and goals, you'll find a sense of purpose and fulfillment that goes beyond just checking items off a to-do list. Now let's address the role of gratitude in daily activity. When you force yourself to be active every day, there will be times when it feels hard. Times when you don't see immediate results. Times when you question whether it's worth the effort. That's where gratitude comes in. Taking time each day to appreciate your ability to be active, to acknowledge your progress, no matter how small, to be thankful for the opportunities you have to grow and improve. This can be a powerful motivator. It can help you maintain a positive mindset even when faced with challenges. Let's talk about the importance of flexibility in your approach to daily activity. While consistency is key, it's also important to be adaptable. Life doesn't always go according to plan. There will be days when your usual routine is disrupted. There will be times when you need to adjust your activities due to changing circumstances. The key is to have a flexible mindset. If you can't do your usual activity, what can you do instead? If you have less time than usual, how can you modify your activity to fit the time you have? Remember, something is always better than nothing. It's better to do a shortened version of your activity than to skip it entirely. Now, let's address the role of celebration in daily activity. It's important to celebrate your wins, no matter how small they might seem. Did you stick to your activity for a week straight? Did you overcome a particularly tough day when you really didn't feel like being active? Celebration serves several purposes. It reinforces the positive behavior, making you more likely to repeat it. It boosts your mood and motivation, making it easier to keep going. And it helps you recognize and appreciate your progress, which is crucial for long-term success. In conclusion, forcing yourself to be active every day is not about punishing yourself or pushing yourself to the brink of exhaustion. It's about committing to your own growth and development. It's about showing up for yourself day after day and taking consistent action towards your goals. It's about building the habits and mindset that will support you in becoming the best version of yourself. Remember, every day is a new opportunity. An opportunity to move forward, to learn, to grow, to become a little bit better than you were yesterday. Embrace this opportunity. Commit to being active every day. And watch as your life transforms. One day at a time.